One, if not the most massive fragrance haul ever. Hi everyone, I'm Jolima and this is my channel Scented Moments where we discuss everything about perfumes. So in this video I have here 18 fragrances that I added to my collection during December. Really massive. This is really, if not the biggest, one of the biggest fragrance hauls ever. And so without further ado, let's dive in. So in no specific order, really, the first fragrance that I will mention, that I will share with you, is a classic. And this is a fragrance that I wanted to add for a very long time. Finally have it from the house of Guerlain. It's Bleue. Apologies for the fingerprints, but this is Bleue. And it's just magical. This is the Eau de Parfum concentration, and this is powder. This really smells of a different era. It's powdery, it's floral, rose. You have a bit of aldehydic nuance in here. You have a bit of vanilla. It's just fantastic, really. This fragrance is a type of fragrance that everyone should try at least once. And yes, I mean, I'm a big fan of Guerlain, and from the classic Guerlains to the modern Guerlains, to be fair. And this was one that was missing in my collection. I mean, I'm a big fan of Mitsuko. I have the Eau de Parfum, Shah'Ryar, of course, Vol de Nuit, Jiki, and the other one Après L'Ondée. Now I would love to have the Parfum versions of each one, but I mean it's quite hard. Some of them hard to find. The next fragrance that I definitely want to add, which is also a classic already from Guerlain, it's Naima, which is considered to be one of the best, if not the best, rose fragrance out there. So that's the last one that I'm missing that I definitely want to add, but in the near future. But yes, for now, Bleue. Again, it's a fragrance that everyone should try at least once. The next fragrance, this was released this year. It's a designer, and for me it was love at first sniff, and I still need to upload my best fragrance releases of 2024, which I will definitely do very soon. And this one is definitely one of them, hands down, especially within the mainstream designer realm. I would say that this is the best designer fragrance, mainstream designer fragrance of 2024 from the house of Hugo Boss bottled Absolu. This one right here. Now I have a soft spot for Hugo Boss. I always loved this DNA. I wore a lot the original one. I mean, back many moons ago, even before I was deep in this hobby. So yes, I was always a fan of Hugo Boss, and I have a few currently. I have Hugo Boss bottled Oud. I have the Hugo Boss bottled Unlimited, which is a fantastic, very underrated summer fragrance. I have also the Hugo Boss bottled Intense Eau de Parfum, which was discontinued. Now we just have the Boss bottled Eau de Parfum, which is a bit different, although solid alternative, but still different. I actually do prefer the now discontinued perfume because it was really a more intensified version of the original Boss bottled. Anyway, I'm also a fan of the Elixir version, but man, this is something else. This really smells like I would say like a more mainstream niche perfume. Actually, this reminds me of Parfum de Marly Layton / Layton Exclusive. But then again, Layton itself, it's already a bit inspired by the Hugo Boss DNA. So it's like we went full circle, which is hilarious in that part. But yes, so this has like a Layton vibe, but I would say that this is better, to be fair. Well, definitely the price and quality, it's much better than Layton. I think Layton, I had Layton actually long time ago, and I sold it because I was simply not using it, and it smelled like designer. It reminded me a lot of Hugo Boss, the DNA in general. So I ended up selling it. but I still have 3 Parfum de Mali fragrances. But talking about this one, so this is all about the Boss Bottle DNA. You have the apple here, a bit spicy, and you have vanilla. And I would say that this also has like a touch of a dark woodsy slash mainstream westernized oud, like a accord, and it's glorious. And this fragrance is amazing. It's so sexy, so seductive, man, and the performance is crazy actually. This is an eau de parfum concentration, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it a parfum? It's a parfum intense, so I would say that this is a parfum. Yeah, the performance actually it's quite good. I already wore this a couple times while I was in Lisbon. Well, I still am, although not for long, unfortunately. But I wore this a couple of times, and the performance was also always amazing. It grabbed me a couple of compliments, to be fair, but which was nice. But it will not be right at this moment. It won't make the list of my most complimented fragrances of 2024. Nonetheless, if you're a fan of the Boss Bottle DNA, if you're a fan of the Elixir version, I highly advise you to check this one out. Amazing, amazing perfume. Apple done right. Apple, I think it's a note that it's hard to make it right. At least for me, it can come across too synthetic. Not in this case, at least not for me. The way that it's blended with the vanilla, with the spices, with this dark woodsy notes, a bit smoky. This fragrance is fantastic, and the apple really works here. After all, it's part of the Boss Bottle DNA. So yes, Boss Bottle Absolu, it's something that you must try. And the last designer fragrance that I have here, I mean, one could argue if Guerlain is really a designer or not. But this is definitely the last more mainstream within the designer side of things. And this is definitely a designer brand. It's Chanel. And it's one that I wanted to add since forever to my collection. And it is Chanel No. 5 Parfum. Now, and this is a travel spray. It also comes in the 15 ml, and I think it comes also in the 30 ml, but it's a dab bottle. It's a very cute mini bottle, but I actually do prefer spray than to just roll in the skin. But yeah, so this is the presentation overall. I mean, amazing. And actually, I will also show you how was the packaging overall. So I purchased this one while I was discovering Patchouli Paris from Guerlain and all other more newish exclusive designer fragrances. And in the end, I ended up with, I mean, this amazing classic. I'm a big fan of No. 5, and the Parfum is my favorite version. Followed by the Eau de Parfum, which I already have. It's in Lithuania. So now I will just showcase you. This is the mini bottle, the mini box, I would say. And here you have with the instructions on how to remove, because this is a refill. And so you can just purchase the refill bottle that it looks like that. And the cover, I will call it hard cover, it will remain the same. So here is the perfume. I mean, really nice, but oh, this is so good. This is perfection. This is really perfection. I mean, seriously, I'm so happy to have it in my collection. No. 5, the Parfum version in the spray. Actually, it's actually my favorite way of experiencing fragrances. It's by spraying, not dabbing or just roll on. I just prefer to spray the perfume itself. So this is a more intensified version of the No. 5 DNA with this amazing aldehydes, very sparkly, creamy, with floral. It's just fantastic. This was actually my fragrance of the Christmas day, the 25th of December. This was my scent of the day, because it has this cold feel into it, and I think this is a very Christmas like perfume. So yes, I'm really happy to have Chanel number 5 Parfum. Actually, I wanted to say that I think I have the entire Chanel number 5 concentrations, but I don't. So I have the Eau de Première, I have the Eau de Parfum, now I have the Parfum. I also have Chanel number 5 Low, which is amazing. It's my summer staple. It was stolen from my luggage, I mean, in the summertime, as you all know. So I need to repurchase that one, but I will just do it during 2025. And I still don't have the Eau de Toilette, which is actually my least favorite concentration. But well, this one though, it's glorious. I really advise you to at least try it. It's really a masterpiece of a perfume. The next fragrance, this is from the house of Naomi Goodsir. I'm a big fan of this brand, and with this acquisition I have now the entire collection of Naomi Goodsir, which is not much. They just have 6 fragrances, which is good because nowadays we see this trend of fragrances just popping out with perfumes like almost every month, and they really have a thoughtful process to release a perfume. So this is the presentation. Actually, I will just showcase you the presentation of the Naomi Goodsir fragrances. Very simple, but I think it's very minimalistic and yet great, to be fair. So this is Corpus Equus, this one right here. It's a very horsey, leathery fragrance. Now this was created by Bertrand Duchaufour. And so this is the box where the fragrance came. It opens like so. And inside you have like a cover, and you have another box actually in the middle. So let's just take it off. And here you have the perfume. Here. Corpus Equus. It's a wonderful fragrance. Seriously, this is a stunning perfume. This is a 50 ml. It just comes in a 50 ml size. Eau de Parfum concentration. And this is a very, animalic fragrance. Like leathery, animalic, castoreum, like horsey, very horsey. I don't know if this has hay, but definitely gives like a hay feel as well. For example, I already talked a lot about Paddock from Hermès. That was a very limited and exclusive release. And that one also is very horsey, like horse leather, but it has like but it has like a gourmand quality, like a creamy, nutty, vanillic quality into it, which is very unique. This one doesn't have that. This is definitely more rough, more raw, more animalic, I would say. It's wonderful. It's not for everyone, but if you are into these more daring animalic leathery fragrances, highly advise for you to try. It's Corpus Equus, again created by Bertrand Duchaufour by Naomi Goodsir. Now the next fragrance, this is from the house of Etat Libre d'Orange. It's been a while since I purchased anything from this brand, but actually I would like to have a few more from the brand, especially from their more older releases like Tom Finland's Jasmine and Cigarettes, especially those two, like this as well, like this, and La Fin du Monde. These 4 fragrances I would love to have actually from the brand. I'm not a big fan of their latest releases, to be fair, but I still love and appreciate their oldest ones. I currently have 5 fragrances, if I'm not mistaken, from the brand, like Rien Intense Incense, Remarkable People, Fat Electrician, and I'm missing the other one. Bijou Romantique, very underrated. It goes in the realm of Shah'Ryar, more vanillic and a bit more floral. Very underrated perfume, Bijou Romantique. But this one is Je Suis un Homme, also released by mid-2000s. And this was created by Antoine Lee, which is now the main parfumeur at Les Indemodables, one of the best niche brands at the moment. And so this is like the box, a very simple box. Je Suis un Homme, or the Parfum concentration. And here you have the bottle. 100 ml bottle, and this is also quite underrated, to be fair. Now this is a more of an, it's so good. It's more of a classic fragrance, It has like a retro vibe into it. For me, this is a very dry, leathery, patchouli type of fragrance, but very dry. Yes, very, very dry perfume. More on the masculine side of things, but of course, all perfumes are unisex. If you are a woman and you are into these type of fragrances, I really advise you to try this one. But I would say that this leans more a bit to the masculine side of things. It's a fantastic smell, fantastic scent, and for me it was love at first sniff. Like when I tried this, and I tried this at Embassy niche perfumery store, like my favorite niche perfume store overall. It's where all my fragrance journey started. So if you're following this channel for a while, you know that. And for me, this was really a surprise, like how good this is and how underrated it is. I love it. Very elegant, very classy, but retro, but nonetheless, high quality fragrance right here. Je suis un homme by Etat Libre d'Orange. So the next fragrance, talking about Etat Libre d'Orange, is also from Etat Libre d'Orange, and this one is Frustration. Now, this line overall, I don't know the name of this line, but it's a more expensive line of Etat Libre d'Orange, and you can see already from the presentation itself, definitely more elaborated than their signature regular line. This one, Frustration, actually, it was a fragrance that I discovered at Essence. I just tried out of curiosity, because I'm not very well familiarized with this line of Etat Libre d'Orange. I just know that it's more expensive. Then I tried Frustration, and I tried a couple of others, which I was not really impressed. I think it was 500 Years, I think it's the name. Then there is another one called Soul. Oh, is it Soul of My Soul? It's Soul something, which I was not impressed. I mean, overall, this line, it was a bit disappointing, with the exception of this one. Now, this is a gourmand bomb. It's sweet. It's very sweet. It's vanilla, almonds, nuts, you name it. So here is the presentation overall. Oh, let me see if I can open this. So it opens like that. I mean, just look at this. Very nice presentation, I would say. Very beautiful. I love the touch here of the mirror, like you are trying like a very exclusive clothing or a very exclusive brand fragrance. Actually, I really do appreciate the package overall. It looks very chic and very unique, actually. So Frustration, and I love the bottle. Actually, I love the bottle. This red with the gold. And to be fair, I do like the bottles of this line overall, but the smell, they were a bit disappointing. Well, I still didn't spray it, but this is a very sweet fragrance. You really need to have, I don't have anything here, you really need to have a sweet tooth. Oh yeah, right away. Vanilla, almond, ooh, almonds, and it really has like a roasted, nutty nuance, a bit chocolatey as well. Oh man, it's so good. I really love this. I love this. But again, I have a sweet tooth. I love my gourmand fragrances, and for me, this is amazing. If you have a sweet tooth, highly advise to check this one out. Frustration by Etat Libre d'Orange. The next fragrance, this is from the house of Les Indemodables, and it is Oriental Velours. I wanted to have this one in my collection so badly, and this was not love at first sniff. When I tried this one at first, and actually I did a live stream when I tried first time the fragrances from Les Indemodables, I purchased a sample set, and this one was a bit disappointing because I was expecting something more sweet than it actually is, and more complex as well. And you see all the Oriental Velours, you think of vanilla, of course, you think of ambers like labdanum, myrrh, you think of frankincense, so you think of all of those heavy complex notes. Now this fragrance has one of the notes that I mentioned, myrrh, and it's a myrrh bomb. And to be fair, I think this is the best interpretation of myrrh currently. Now this, the opening and overall the scent, this is a very unique perfume. So this is the presentation overall. Very simple cardboard box. So here you have this foam cover, just like that. And here you have the bottle sitted. It comes like that. Very simple, yet I think effective presentation. And here you have it, Oriental Velours. This is a 50 ml. It just comes in 50 ml. This is an eau de parfum. Now, Oriental Velours is, you can smell it. I still didn't spray it, but you can smell a bit of a, it has like a spruce, I think it's spruce note in here, which gives like a green, minty, aromatic quality, and followed by this very heavy, dry, bittery myrrh. And it's so good, like a very natural smelling myrrh, to be fair. Amazing, amazing fragrance. I mean, Oriental Velours, I would say that this is one of the most underrated from the brand, but it's one that I really advise to check out if you are into more unique, resinous type of perfumes. Check this one out. It's amazing. And the next fragrance, also from Les Indemodables, and I'm so proud, so proud. I have no idea how proud I am to have this fragrance. It was released this year as a limited, very limited and very expensive release. It is Vanille Coeur de Oud. And I still keeping it in this beautiful presentation. So very similar in terms of packaging, but it has a really nice twist, this one. Now, this is a 50 ml, again, just comes in a 50 ml size. It was just released and just created 500 units, and mine is the 287 bottle, as you can see here. Now, the presentation is a bit more classy, a bit more sophisticated, let's say. So you have this sleeve, you have this on top that you can take it off as well, and it opens like almost like a flower blooming like that. And here you have the fragrance, the amazing Vanille Coeur de Oud. And so here you have all the information regarding the fragrance, like the inspiration, notes, and I think it's really a nice touch. Now, the price is 420 euros for just a 50 ml. It's a lot. It's really a lot, and it's a very exclusive, limited release, unfortunately. Now, when I heard that Les Indemodables was about to create, and I actually heard from the owners themselves by Valérie and Rémi, but Valérie, she is the founder. Rémi, he's the one that takes care of the materials and the sourcing of the materials overall, and the maceration and whatnot. Actually, I had the amazing opportunity to visit their lab at NSC, and it was amazing, an amazing experience, one of the best experiences of 2024. And so Vanille Coeur de Oud, when I heard that they were about to release this, I had this bittersweet feeling, because one, I'm a huge fan of Vanille. I mean, Vanille is currently the best sweet tobacco vanilla out there, period. It's not even close. Although I still love my Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford, I love my Tobacco Honey by Guerlain, but Vanille, the original, is just that good. It's a masterpiece of a perfume. And it's, of course, their best seller. So Rémi and Antoine Lee, they had the opportunity to buy like a very specific oud material, raw material, and they were really excited to release like an oud perfume. However, Valérie, she's not a fan of oud perfumes. So they, Rémi and Antoine Lee was the parfumeur, the nose behind Vanille Coeur de Oud, and so they just thought it would be a good idea to use still the oud material, but in Vanille. And actually it works really well. So this is the sweet part, because I'm a fan of Vanille, and adding a natural smelling oud in here really enhances a depth, complexity, and really takes Vanille even to a stratospheric level, which we thought it was already really good, so they make it even better. Now, the bitter part is that I would love that they would in fact release a new fragrance with oud. I mean, maybe they could have used the same oud and as this one, not as funky. This is not a funky, barnyardy, very daring oud. No, this is really a tame, elegant, natural oud. It's fantastic, really. And so I would just love that they would release a new, brand new fragrance with this oud, and could be even a limited edition also. But I would just prefer that they would release like something new. But nonetheless, I'm a big fan of Vanille. I'm a big fan of this perfume, the Coeur, the oud. So in the end, I'm really happy to have a full bottle of this one. This is a stunning oud fragrance. Stunning oud fragrance with the DNA of Vanille. I mean, masterpiece of a fragrance. It's Vanille, Coeur de Oud. Well, talking about Vanille, talking about Les Indemodables, I have another. Well, this is a fragrance, but it's more of a roll-on. And if you are familiarized with the brand, you all know what I purchased. So this is Vanille in the Extrait concentration. And this one is a 10 ml. So this is a 10 ml of Vanille, and this is an Extrait. It's glorious, glorious, glorious. Although it comes just a roll-on, and for me, I just prefer spray, but this is so thick. It's so oily. I mean, here, look at this. Very oily. And so I really don't mind to roll. I can open really an exception and have this beautiful, beautiful concentration as a roll-on. Now, and you can smell it right away. Oh, this is really thick of a perfume. I would say that this is a bit more chocolatey. I think the cacao and the chocolate, they are definitely more enhanced here. And it's slightly dark. It's more dark perfume overall. Dark and gourmand. And it's just beautiful. Now we have a full-on Vanille set. The Eau de Parfum, the original, the Extrait, and now the Coeur de Oud. And I will just layer. I'm not a fan of layering overall, but here I will open a very special exception. I mean, Vanille Extrait, it's glorious. Highly advise for you to try. The price is 98 euros, so I think it's reasonable for 10 ml. And especially considering this is an Extrait, this will really last you the whole day. So highly advise for you to try this one if you're a fan of Vanille. The next fragrance now from the house of Rania J, and it is Ambre Loup. Now I already had Ambre Loup, but yes, it was stolen. It was one of those that were stolen as well from my luggage when I was traveling from Lisbon to Vilnius. So I repurchased Ambre Loup because this is one of my all-time favorite amber fragrances. Now, it's very interesting to see because this is the new packaging of Rania J. I still have all my Rania J fragrances are from previous packaging. Definitely more simple. Like even the box was definitely like just a cardboard box, very simple box. Now it's definitely more elaborated. So you have this is a sleeve that you can just take it off. And this is a foam-like box, but very thick and hard, actually. And it opens, so this is Rania J, the initials, and I believe it opens like that. Yeah, here you go. Very nice presentation, really nice. And it's good, actually. It's good that they have this protection now, because these bottles are fragile. They are not very thick. They are more thin bottles, so it's really a nice touch that they did here. And this is Ambre Loup now with the new packaging. Here you go. It's just the label and the cap that changed, because before it was like a different label and a different cap. But the smell-wise is the same, at least from what I've been trying from the testers. It's the same. I can't say really the performance. I hope the performance is still good, but smell-wise is amazing. This is one of the best amber fragrances ever. It's very balsamic, smoky, incensey, woodsy, a bit animalic amber, thick, resinous, sappy, like sweet amber. I mean, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful amber, more dark, a bit more animalic. and definitely very balsamic. So very happy to have it again in my collection. It's Rania J's Ambre. Talking about Rania J, another fragrance that I added. This is one of my favorite discoveries of the year. It's the amazing, and I definitely will butcher the name. It's Shah'Ryar. My God, I apologize for that. This is the name. And this is an Extrait de Parfum. So now this was like, I think this was a limited release type of perfume, but I think it's still available. This was released last year and I discovered this one at Essence this year. And actually, funny enough, every time I was passing the Rania J's counter, I was spraying this fragrance. And they were already laughing, and I met Rania in person, which was very lovely. And I ended up buying this one. I loved it that much. Now, this is a vanillic type of fragrance, but it's much more than that. Now, and it's definitely different from any other vanilla fragrances that you can think of, like José Mathieu 5, or Baby Cat, or even Gioiosa by Indult, which is my favorite vanilla fragrance ever, Spirito Zubel Vanille. I mean, all of those vanilla perfume references, forget about them. This is different. Now the presentation is the same with the exception of this gold label for being an Extrait. Here is the same presentation here, and you open like that. Just be careful. Yes, here you have it. This fragrance is amazing, guys. This is so underrated. I mean, Rania J overall, it's quite an underrated brand. I already talked about this brand so many times here in this channel. And so here you have it. Beautiful. I will even spray this myself. Oh, it's so spicy, so smoky, balsamic, vanillic. Oh yeah. And it has like a green nuance in here. I don't remember the notes, to be fair, but it has a green nuance, like absinthe, or it has a green aromatic spicy nuance, balsamic, and you can immediately see like the vanilla. You know what fragrance I'm thinking of now that I'm smelling this, and this never occurred to me, but actually a fragrance that I'm thinking of is Amouage Royal Tobacco. Now, different, quite different, but it has that green, because Royal Tobacco is also green and spicy and aromatic in the opening. And this one gives me a bit of vibes of that, now without the smoky ashiness tobacco nuance. More ambery, more vanillic. Oh man, it's so good. This one is so good. I love it. Now again, I just thought of Royal Tobacco actually, but this is, yeah, it's still different. But just for you to have a reference, yeah, I would say that this goes more in the, at least more in the opening, more in the Royal Tobacco category, but still being different. Doesn't have like the ashy tobacco nuances, and it's more warm and cozy and more addicting. I mean, I love Royal Tobacco as well, don't get me wrong, but I would say also that Royal Tobacco is a bit more complex. It's more things going on, but nonetheless, this is a wonderful, wonderful creation. The next fragrance from the house of Profumum Roma, Gioiosa. Still have it here in the box because I will take this with me to Lithuania. Unfortunately, all my collection of Profumum Roma will still stay here because it's not easy to ship them, because these bottles are decanters. As you see, I already showed you in my video about the Profumum Roma overall. I mean, massive long video. This is the presentation, and so all Profumum Roma bottles are like decanters, and so they all come like this. And as you see, these are screwers that you can just take off the cap, and at least this one is protected. Now all the other ones are not. So, and the glass as well, it's a bit thin, it's not that thick, so it's not easy to ship and to carry the full bottles of Profumum Roma. And so this is the roll-on, because all Profumum Roma fragrances are highly concentrated. Gioiosa, it's also a vanilla, but it's more of a traditional vanilla, like more milky, more borderline gourmand type of vanilla. And it was love at first sniff. I just adore this one. It's so damn addicting, so decadent, and it's currently one of my favorite vanilla fragrances. Still not topping Indult, Ciotta by Indult, but it's definitely up there. Profumum Roma already had a vanilla forward fragrance called Vanitas, which I'm still not a fan of. It's very plasticky. I mean, they have so many great vanilla fragrances, like Dulces in Fundo, Batito Dali, and some others, like perfumes that have a really nice vanilla note, but then when they dedicated a perfume just for vanilla, it didn't work. At least not to my nose. But Gioiosa, it's a different beast. Really advise of you to try this one, Gioiosa by Profumum Roma. The next fragrance from the house of Xerjoff from the Casamorati line, another fragrance that I had in my collection, but yes, you guessed it right, it was stolen. It was another fragrance that was stolen from my luggage. I mean, in total, it was like 7 fragrances that were stolen from me. But I already repurchased almost all of them. The only one that is missing is the Chanel No. 5 Low. But so this one is 1888. Sorry, 1888 from the Casamorati line. And actually, this was my very first fragrance from Xerjoff overall, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so now this is the new type of bottle, because they kind of changed a bit the bottle overall, but the smell is the same. So this is the beautiful packaging right here. I mean, simply stunning. Simply stunning. I mean, I will not take it off even, because I know how it smells. This is a very, very unique amber fragrance. This is amber with a big dose of carnation and a bit of a peppery nuance as well. It's just to die for. It's a very masculine, very elegant type of fragrance, and it's a very unique also because it has carnation, and you don't find carnation fragrances that often, especially nowadays. So I think it's a very nice use of carnation with a very warm, almost like boozy amber, and with some spices. And it has a bit of coriander as well. It has a bit of a coriander quality in it. Amazing amber fragrance, quite unique one. Highly advised to try. It's 1888 from the Casamorati line of Xerjoff. The next fragrance, this was released this year, and for me it was just love at first sniff by its uniqueness. From the house of Andy Tower, it's Heraud. Again, butchering the name. And this is a elixir parfum. I will call it more of a parfum concentration type of perfume. Now, Heraud, so as you see here, Andy Tower always leaves like a special personalized message in all his perfumes. And as you see, like, he changed the presentation because they first came in an aluminum type of box container, and now he changed for full cardboard box. And here you have the bottle. The bottle is still the same. Now, Heraud is, here you have it. This is how it looks, 50 ml. Now, this one is a very unique take on a coffee / cacao type of perfume. This is very bitter. It's more of a bitter cacao, not your typical sweet, chocolatey, powdery cacao. No, this is a very raw, bitter cacao. Very natural smelling, to be fair, very natural smelling. This then, as it develops, goes into more of a sweet territory, like a bit more vanillic, but only in the dry down. Before, it's a very unique take on a cacao note. And that's why I love it. With that Andy Tower DNA, like that very harsh, piercing, like ambery facets. It's really fantastic. I loved this one. I think Heraud, it's really one of the best fragrances from Tower. A very unique one, especially. One could say that this is like a unique take of it's a Tower take on a gourmand fragrance, because this is not, I would not consider this a full-on gourmand, maybe more in the dry down, but before it's really any Tower's take in a gourmand fragrance, which is not a gourmand, it's more of a bitter cacao type of perfume. Amazing, amazing, amazing fragrance right here, Heraud by Tower. And talking about any Tower, the other fragrance that I purchased, man, this was far from being love at first sniff, but I have it now. This really clicked in December when I went to Embassy. I tried this on my skin and it was love out of nowhere. Now this one is Loup, any Tower's take on oud. Now Loup was created, and you see this is still the old presentation. This is how the previous bottles came from Tower, with this aluminum container here, and still it's sealed. So this one, Loup, it's a unique take on an oud fragrance, but the reason why I didn't love it, it's because any Tower, before releasing Loup, he released an attar, which is called Attar AT, which I assume it's Attar any Tower. And I have it actually, it's a 5 ml if I'm not mistaken, a very cute 5 ml with a Tower bottle, and being you just dab, it's a dabber. And it's a very strong attar actually. It's a very smoky, dark vetiver, heavy vetiver fragrance, woodsy, amazing, amazing vetiver fragrance. This one is basically, I think this is another Parfum. This is the other Parfum take on that attar. And for me, when I tried this at first time, I was expecting like a more barnyardy oud with the Tower DNA. And in the end, it was a bit of a letdown in that regard, because it's more of that attar with oud. And this one has a rubbery quality also. For some reason, when I tried this again at Essence, not Essence, but at Embassy, it just clicked. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. It's really good. It's a very unique take on an oud fragrance. The oud is definitely here, but it has the vetiver, it has the smoky, borderline ashy qualities. It's rubbery, it's dark, it's just fantastic. Not for everyone. This is for people who are into very specific, dark, unique, niche fragrances, niche/indie fragrances. And also, of course, you need to enjoy oud to appreciate this one. But yes, I'm really happy with this one. Actually, it's Loup by any Tower, a fantastic take on an oud note. The last 3 fragrances, these are all from the brand of Astrophil and Stella. This brand was one of the best discoveries for me over this year. I discovered them at Essence, first time ever. I had the opportunity to talk with the owners of the brand. I experienced and tried all of their perfumes, and they are being currently sold at Embassy here in Lisbon. And so I took with me Nabati. This one is Sweet Pulp, created by my countryman Miguel Mach, Parfumeur Miguel Mach. And Nabati was created here by Christian Provenzano. And this one actually is still sealed, like a Christmas gift. This one is Paris Chéri, which is a gourmand fragrance, and it's to die for, actually. Now I'll just take off from this actually beautiful wrapping. And so this is Paris Chéri. And this one was created by Natalie Fessenhauer. Now here is how you can see, they always mention the parfumeurs also, which is a really nice touch, and that's why I also really enjoyed and appreciate this brand. Astrophil and Stella, they are from Italy, and here you can see here. Now, if you don't know, this brand, Astrophil and Stella, they sent me In Extremis. And In Extremis was created by Mel Fouchouni. Now, Mel Fouchouni is one of my favorite perfumers currently. I love his brand. I love Sonny. I love Little Song, Odor 93, Narcotico. I mean, the list goes on and on. Although I just have currently 3 fragrances from his brand. And so I was really curious to try it. I tried it at Essence and it was love at first sniff. And they were really kind to send me this bottle, actually. Now, this is how the presentation looks overall. Here you have it. This is the box. And it opens like that. This is magnetic, actually. Yeah, it's a really nice touch. And here you have the bottle. 50 ml, I think it just comes in a 50 ml. This one, I believe it's Extrait de Parfum. All of their fragrances actually are Extrait de Parfum. So this is In Extremis. I already wore this one a couple times actually. And In Extremis is a very unique take on an oud. It has oud, but it's not your typical, again, your typical barnyard funky oud. It's more of an woodsy oud with incense and leather, and it's just to die for. Just more than oud, I think it's more of a leather fragrance, and the oud is more of a supporting note, but it's to die for. This is really something else. In Extremis, it's something that, it's a fragrance that I really advise you to try, and for me, one of the best releases of this year. And so, to support the brand, I decided to purchase these 3. Nabati. Nabati is, so this one is Nabati. Now I will take off from the plastic. So Nabati, it's a unique, also leather fragrance, but an aquatic take on the leather. Now, that maybe might not, oh man, I love this sound. Now, this is the box, by the way. Now, this might not be like a very appealing description, like an aquatic take on the leather, but actually it smells amazing. Now, here you have the notes, just you have in Extremis, actually. So you always have the notes here on the side of the box. So Nabati here, the notes, you have cardamom, saffron, davana, ambre, sea salt, rum. Then you have cedar, Moroccan rose, aquatic accord, vetiver, cissus labdanum, leather, oud, vanilla, patchouli, and cedarwood. And so this is also a sleeve. It comes like that. Here it's very similar, like the In Extremis. And here you have this dark blue type of bottle. Now, Nabati, here you have it. This for me, it's again a very, very unique take on an aquatic perfume. Yeah, you can smell, although again, I didn't spray, but their fragrances are really intense, to be fair. Their fragrances are really intense, and the cap, actually, it's quite heavy. Now, this one is, again, a very smooth aquatic, not harsh. For me, like, although I'm biased because I love aquatic fragrances, done right, not harsh, not too piercing. And this one is done right. It's smooth, it's not very piercing, it's not overly synthetic. It's really done to perfection and it's very dark. I think this dark blue color really represents how the fragrance smells like. Very dark, aquatic, leathery fragrance that I think it's done really, really well. So this one is Nabati, and the other ones that I have, this one is Sweet Pulp. Very playful perfume created by Miguel Matre, and just by that it's also quite interesting because Miguel, it's more of a experimental, more daring type of parfumeur. Like, he has his own brand, which actually I'm a fan of some of his latest creations, actually. And this one is different from his portfolio. So Sweet Pulp it's a playful perfume, like fruity, a bit green, a bit creamy. And I think this for me screams like end of spring, beginning of summer. It's exactly how this fragrance for me, how I see this fragrance. So Sweet Pulp is, it comes like this as well, this bottle, this box. Here you have also the notes, of course, Miguel Matus created. So the notes, you have pear, peach, blood orange, bergamot, petit grain, fig, rose, patchouli, oak moss, vanilla, sandalwood, sugar, and ambergris. And here you have the bottle. So Sweet Pulp, like I was saying, this is a very playful perfume, fruity. I think oh my god, this is even not the plaque. It's not even okay. Well, this was interesting. The plaque was a bit not right. Well, I think now it's a bit better. So here it's fruity, floral, creamy, borderline, I will not say gourmand, but it's the creaminess really gives a gourmand facet, not being a gourmand. The floral, like the rose, also gives a nice elegant touch to balance the sweetness of the fruits in general. But overall, this is done really well. I really love this one. Love at first sniff, the Sweet Pulp. I also love another one that was created by Cécile Zerokian called Mellow Yellow, which is basically a more modern take on Heaven Can Wait by Frédéric Malle. Now, I'm not saying that it's a clone or it's very heavily inspired, but actually, when I tried it and I revisited, when I tried it at Essence and revisited at Embassy, I really get reminded of Heaven Can Wait more in the dry down more. In the opening is more floral, and it has like a bit of an ylang-ylang, which I'm not a huge fan of, but actually there works really well. And here you have Paris Chéri, and this is a full-on gourmand fragrance. And so it's more of an almondy, nutty, vanillic type of perfume. Now, as notes you have bergamot, cardamom, pink berries, cinnamon from China. You have coffee, cacao, lily of the valley, hedione, orris, heliotrope. And for the base you have cedarwood, cistus, ambroxan, tonka bean, benzoin, and vanilla. And the end result, it's really a wonderful, decadent, not too heavy, not too sugary, gourmand fragrance. Fantastic, really. And here you have the box and the bottle. And this is, it has more of this effect of the bottle. It's a bit different from the others. But here you have it. This is Paris Chéri. Wonderful gourmand fragrance. And I think with this one, we finished the list. Yes, I think we covered everything. And I believe it's already a very long video. Guys, thank you so much for sticking up with me until now. Let me know in the comments down below what fragrances you purchased during the month of December or just recently. If you find value in this video, hit the like button, subscribe, check out all the other fragrance content that I have available, and see you in the next one. Take care, guys.